Hey guys, this is EJ Holland with the Wolverine.com and On 3, and I am here with Michigan tight end commit Eli Owens, who is competing in a 7-on-7 tournament and then heading straight back to his high school to play in a playoff basketball game. How crazy is that?
I mean, I'd like to say it's crazy, but I've done it. This will be the third year now, so I don't want to say it's kind of normal, but I mean, every year I know Rocky Top I'm gonna have to leave for a basketball game, but it makes it fun. So.
In just a few months, you'll be playing soccer. You don't get a lot of crossover with Michigan commits in soccer. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's a funny story actually. I was walking on the last day of school. I was walking to class last year, and I passed the soccer coach, and I was like, I was the best recess goalie of all time in elementary school, and he was like, "Oh, then you should come out to play." And I don't care, so I was like, "Sure," and now I love it. I mean, it's real fun.
So are you a better basketball or soccer player? Because we know football is your best sport, but if you had to pick a secondary, which one would you go with?
See, I've only technically appeared in 2 soccer games, so I couldn't tell you just yet. But I mean, I'd like to think I'm pretty decent in practice. So.
Cool. So let's talk about Michigan. Obviously, you gave a commitment, about a month ago. Just tell me a little bit about why Michigan was the right fit for you.
I just felt like the people in the facility, along with the scheme that they use, fits my play style and personality the best. And not to mention, when you get a degree from the University of Michigan, you're getting a 40-year degree that's going to carry you with the same weight of like a Duke or a UNC or higher academically standard universities if football isn't what works out for me.
So a lot of changes have happened at Michigan. Obviously, Coach Harbaugh heading off to the NFL, Sharon Moore being the head coach. You have a new tight ends coach. How have you handled all the change so far?
They've talked to me pretty extensively about what's been going on and what's been happening. They've let me know almost every move they've made, and I mean, it hasn't changed my mind one bit. I've gotten on the phone with Coach Kasula, and he's been straight with me about what he wants and what he believes. And I mean, I won't say it's better than Coach Newsom because that's my guy, but Coach Kasula, he's really cool, and I can't wait to play for him.
Like I said, Sharon Moore is taking over as head coach. What are your initial impressions on that? What do you think about Coach Moore?
I love Coach Moore. He's been my guy since day one, and I think it was very important for Michigan to keep a program man in the facility, to be the head coach, because that man knows how to win with what he's got, and they don't have to venture out and try new things. They can keep doing what works.
How happy are you that they promoted from within and that they're keeping the same offense that you committed to play in?
It makes me the most happy because I don't have to worry about committing and then having to decommit a week later. I can stay fruitful with my decision and see what happens and, allow this recruiting class to build and see what we can make of it.
You mentioned Steve Kasula getting on the phone with you right away. Tell me about your first conversations with him and what you think about Coach Kasula.
I think he's a great guy. I think he's a family-oriented man. I think he's going to do great things for the program because he's already done great things for the program. Like he was in charge of PWOs when Max Bredesen came on the scene, which the plan is for me to take over for him once he graduates. And I think that him being able to have a position job is going to be what jumpstarts his career because, he was offensive coordinator at UMass and they were averaging I read 350 yards a game. So I think it'll be really, really special to play for him.
You have gotten a lot of comparisons to Max Bredesen. How do you take that? Do you like the comparison? Do you not like the comparison? How are you feeling about it?
I like it. I think this past year they've taken Max's pass catching ability out of it, and just allowing him to be what he does best, and that's to block. And they're telling me that I'll be a mix of him, but more like a mix of him and Colston, but more 60-40 with Max being the 60, being able to just go take some kids' heads off and, fill gaps and busting people up.
Awesome. So talk a little bit about your game. Just tell Michigan fans what they should expect from you.
I don't know. That wouldn't necessarily be a question for me more than my coaches. But I can tell you I play as hard as I can every snap. And if I don't win one rep, I'm going to find a way to win the next rep. And I think that having people oriented with the same goals and mindset is what Michigan has, and I think everybody in the facility is that way, and I think that will only be, I guess, like, up.
Talk about Michigan's tight end usage. That had to be really appealing to you during the process, just not only seeing Max Bredeson, but also the way they utilize the tight end position in general, running so many tight ends out there.
I think it all falls back to what Coach Moore was able to do with the offense when he was the offensive coordinator. And I think that Coach Campbell is going to be able to do the exact same thing because he got to learn under Coach Moore and dissect and develop with the quarterbacks each and every aspect of what all 11 people do on the play. And back to the tight ends, throwing 3 on the field at one time, that just advances my ability to get on the field earlier. And I think that getting as much film as you can out there for professional scouts is what's going to get you to the next level. So they can really critique you and tell you what you need to do to get better.
You visited Michigan a ton. I don't think people realize that you were up there like 10 times before you committed. What stood out to you on those visits? What made Michigan such a special place, an eye-catching place during your recruitment?
Just the people. Like everybody has the money and everybody has the facilities, everybody has a stadium, but I think the people and the personalities and the mindset of every single person being unified in one goal to be great is what attracted me to Michigan. And, the fact that if everything goes as planned, I should hopefully get on the field as a redshirt sophomore, which is appealing. You're playing as a sophomore at a big university like Michigan, and you can only hope for the best. So.
We talked a little bit off camera about Michigan having a quarterback commit already in Carter Smith, who was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Florida. Tell me about your initial conversations with Carter and how much you're looking forward to building some chemistry with him over the next year.
It wasn't really much more than a dap up. I said what's up to him at the Ohio State game. He said what's up back, and then he big famous guy got pulled off to go do whatever. But, I think from what I've seen on the interwebs and whatnot, he's a pretty cool guy and he's a great quarterback, and I can't wait to play with him.
Talk a little bit about, taking pride in being a vocal recruiter. I know you wanted to commit early. You wanted to help lead the class. What's kind of your pitch to other recruits out there? And, just tell me a little bit more about trying to get some guys to join you in Ann Arbor.
I think it all develops with the beginning. So I think it's not necessarily up to me and Carter and everybody else who's committed to bring everybody in, but we need to be the ones that set the foundation because we're going to be the ones that everybody sing every day. And the coaches are all great recruiters, so they're going to do their part so we can help as much as we can, whenever we can, if we can.
So I know you're getting back up to Ann Arbor this spring. Like I said, you've been up there so many times. Anything in particular you're going to be focusing on while you watch practice? No,
I just want to be able to experience a week of Michigan football practice, so I'm going to be ready for it once I get there in December.
Awesome. So last question for you is, what should Michigan fans know about you away from the field? Anything interesting about Eli Owens?
Oh, God. Let me think here. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm an interesting guy. I think I like to have a cool personality. I guess people will call me an old soul. That's not really a question for me. I couldn't tell you how I am. I just act the way I act, and if people don't like me, people don't like me. But I will say that Michigan fans should know that I'm ready to work as hard as I can for as long as I can, so I can be as good as I can.
What about off-the-field hobbies? Anything interesting you like to do away from, playing basketball, soccer, football, whatever else you can?
I like to hunt. I got a buddy who's got a couple. I say a couple. He's got a lot of acres down in Sequatchie County, which is close to Chattanooga, and we hunt that a lot. I like fishing. I'm being in Tennessee, we got a lot of lakes, so, and then just being able to have fun with my friends. I'm not a big video game guy. And with that being said, when NCAA 25 comes out. But yeah, I like being outdoors. I like spending time with people. I like building relationships and just seeing what happens with my life. Because you never know what's going to happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Eli.